We might be a small country, but we are a great country. And I can see some great people out here, a lot of good people. But the world will be lost by a lot of good people doing nothing. What a remarkable volume we're standing in architecturally. What a remarkable space. Let's imagine for a moment that it is space. For those of you at the back, that looks like a pale blue dot. But that's us. That's our home. That's our one and only home. It's the only one we've got. It's where all of our species has lived and died. Everyone. Every single human. It's where we breathe. It's where we eat, we laugh, we cry, we love, we hate. And as far as we know, together with all the other wonderful life on Earth, we are the only known life forms in the universe. And we've got nowhere else to go. This beautiful little blue planet is where we will either learn to live in harmony with the environment, or we will destroy ourselves and much of other life too. We're a remarkable species. We're adaptable. We're imaginative. We're innovative. We're resourceful. But most of all, we are organisms with a conscience. So do we, that's you and I, want it on our conscience, that's we, that's you and I, I'm talking about us in this room, do we want it on our conscience that we waste everything? Obviously not. So why is progress so slow? Why are we unbelievably even pulling back from rapidly and forthrightly addressing the greatest crises to ever threaten our species? Climate breakdown and biodiversity loss. Well, to start with, climate denialism has been a mainstream thing again, thanks to the well-oiled machines of the rich, powerful and influential lobbyists from the fossil fuel and other industries. A dangerous wave of misinformation and lies fills our lives, but worse, it fills the lives of our decision makers. And these are the people who shape policy. Where's the evidence of this? Well, they just trashed COP30, an instrument that's always been doomed to fail because to reach any meaningful agreement requires a consensus, and the petro-states have always said no. So whatever you hear from those who might need to justify their presence there, let's be clear, the urgent mandates we desperately needed are missing in no action. The headline covering COP30 should read, "Fully paid up people peddling distraction and insane lies keep bad business as usual." And whilst we're on paid up, fossil fuel companies are significant contributors to some of the UK's political parties. Why? What do they want? More importantly, what do they get? Presumably, at the very least, the opportunity to spin the lie of climate denialism to the public via some less scrupulous politicians. But look, I'll be kind. You know, keeping the status quo is natural, it's easy on the mind. But at this point, we all need to rise above those comfortable short-term options. This is where you, our leaders, need to win your Victoria Crosses. But I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, hold on a moment, we are not stupid. We can balance the bullshit against the facts, the truth, the tried and tested data collected and analysed by the brilliant minds that deliver the brilliant cutting-edge science. But can we strike that balance? Well, I would argue that I can, because climate and biodiversity science are my daily bread and vegan butter. But what about you? And what about everyone out there? Are they getting access to the facts, access to the truth about the reality of what's happening to our one and only home? Well, you won't believe it, but this is the first briefing of its kind. And elsewhere, our wider media is either far from independent, outwardly biased, or simply failing in its duty to explain to everyone the gravity of our predicament. We must be able to know what is really going on, and none more so than many of you, those that we have elected to represent us, to guide us, to protect our future. You must listen to the science. You must listen to the science, because if you don't, then things go wrong and lives are lost. The COVID inquiry was published recently, and it was a devastating indictment of poor governance. The headlines, you would have seen them: chaotic and toxic culture in Downing Street, too little too late, the cabinet was sidelined, Parliament didn't have enough of a role. Okay, but what really underpinned the failure? It's tragically simple. The report states that the threat of the virus was not taken seriously enough. That the first lockdown had come a week earlier, it would have saved an estimated 23,000 lives in England. So why wasn't it taken seriously enough? Two more quotes from the report reveal all. Against scientific advice, that first lockdown was lifted too early. The Eat Out to Help Out scheme was devised without scientific advice. Without scientific advice. People died. Lots of people died. Wildlife dies too. Next month, my colleagues and I at Wild Justice are taking a case to the High Court because, against their own scientific advice, the government have chosen to persist with the culling of badgers because, and I'll paraphrase this, but I'll do so accurately, they didn't want to upset the farmers. As that sinks in the midst of a biodiversity crisis, in one of the most nature-depleted set of nations on the planet, 240,000 badgers have been killed because the science has been sidelined. The failure to suppress the egos of government, their government departments and individuals, has cost lives. You see, it's not about you. It's not about your department. It's not about your parties. It's about us, those that have elected you. Because it's more than that. We didn't just elect you. We've given you our trust. And our lives and those of millions more are in your hands. Because what concerns us today is, sadly, tragically, far, far greater than COVID and the badger cull. It's not thousands, it's not hundreds of thousands or millions of lives that are at risk. It's billions of lives that are at risk. So to conclude, we must set aside all of our divisions. Everything that you might think that that person sitting at your shoulder has that's incompatible with you, that makes them different than you. You've got to set that aside. We are one species on one planet with one big problem and one last chance to sort it out. We have declared war on our one and only home. We've set our house on fire. So we, that's you and I, that's all of us, need to lead the UK on an immediate route to recovery. Now, some of you, I know you're thinking, hold on a moment, it's just the UK. We can't do it all on our own. We might be a small country, but we are a great country. And I can see some great people out here, a lot of good people. But the world will be lost by a lot of good people doing nothing. So we need action. Hope comes from action. Hope comes from courage. So please, listen and learn from the scientists and experts who are about to tell you the facts. The facts. I beseech you to hear their truth, the truth that they are going to tell you. I'm not proud. I'm scared. So I'm begging you to heed their warnings and give us hope, because at the moment, there's not much of that left in the box. Thank you.